Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. A triple shot of Mark is in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. December 27, 2017. How's it going for you, fellas? Happy holidays to you.
Hey man, it was a great Christmas. The family got to see each other. Xavier got some good gifts. I got a few good things. You know what? I was excited for a pair of socks. I never thought I'd see the day that
What
I'll
kind of
be
socks you
excited.
got?
Some polo socks.
Oh, okay. You first with
Oh,
them. Okay.
that's what's up,
I'm
No,
not.
it's just
man.
I got some regular socks. 'Cause I just remember what about a good 4 or 5 years ago when I was complaining that I got some socks for Christmas one year. So when you get older, it's like your focus changes on what you need.
Oh,
Now
you'll appreciate it a little bit more, man. I definitely agree with that, man. How was your Christmas? Was
Oh man, I can't complain. Got exactly what I wanted out of it. Got a chance to have good times with the family and got to see old friends and make some good memories. And more importantly, got some good ass food,
that's a
which
must.
is always the highlight of the holidays. But mom and dad came through for your boy, treated me like a little kid.
It came in
Uh,
clutch.
had a little throwback Christmas because they got your boy books for Christmas. I got a brand new 2018 Guinness Book of World Records.
There we
Pops
go.
hooked me up with the Sports Illustrated all-time greatest list for football. Counting down everything from the greatest stadiums of all time to the
Hmm.
greatest players by position. Good shit to argue about because you know Uncle Buzz loves to keep the ammo in the clip. Uh, but yeah, it's all been good and currently celebrating for those that don't. Happy Kwanzaa.
Come
We
on.
are in day two, uh, which is Kujichakulia,
Speak.
that was
which
impressive.
uh, which is Swahili for self determination. Kwanzaa, for those people that don't know, is something that's been going on for about 50 years now. Started back in around 66, 67, and it runs from the day after Christmas till New Year's. And it celebrates seven different tenets of what we feel are African principles and stuff like that that are relevant to keep us strong and bring us together as a community. Uh, it's something that I encourage people, if you're interested in it, do some research on it. You can Google it. It's not hard to find. I'm not going to be too long-winded about it because it's something that I love to talk about, and I don't know. I know y'all don't want me to talk for 2 hours about it, but it's a very interesting concept. It's something that I really encourage, especially for those that have that sense of empowerment, that feeling of wanting to reach back and find different ways to connect with the community, find different ways to promote empowerment, unity, things of that nature. It's very interesting holiday conceptually speaking, and it's something that I've celebrated actively for about the last 12, 13 years now.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Congratulations to you for that, bro. That's what's up. That's what's up. No, I'm all about it, my man. Like I said, my brother he speaks Swahili and he celebrate Kwanzaa too. You know, I end up hooking him up with a PlayStation 4, so he back on top of it. He back on top over there in Germany, kicking it.
Dang, a PlayStation
That's what's
4?
up.
Yeah. I had to lace him up. You know, we all pitched in. Had to lace him up. Got him over Odell Beckham jersey. All the
I'm
good
like,
stuff.
dang, you got him a PlayStation 4. You got some new headphones. DeMarcus balling
Hey
over here.
man, boss moves,
No,
homie.
no,
Dang,
Boss
no,
move.
I
not
need
at all, bro.
I need to
Not
grow up and be like you.
nah, bro.
Okay, he'll be a Rick Rawson in.
We pay the same taxes, bro. Ain't
PS4? Yeah, you got that.
Yeah,
You got that.
PS4. Here you go. You got it. Lobster steak, shrimp. Got it.
Yeah, you got that. Don't worry about that. You want
nah,
cheese on that? You want to supersize it? Everybody can supersize it. Everybody.
man, nah, it ain't that good. It ain't that good. Not yet, not yet. It's gonna get there though. But man, what about Bright? Would y'all have a little time to catch Bright, maybe one or two times to see how it is overall?
Saw it the
Yeah,
day it came out, buddy.
I saw it finally. I want to say on Saturday. I want to say, and I thought I really enjoyed the movie for the most part. For I took it for what it is. If I saw it in theaters, I may have been complaining about a few things that I probably wanted more fleshed out. But from a Netflix standpoint of what they release, content wise, it's probably one of the best things that I've seen movie wise from Netflix.
Nah, I have to agree with that. For a Netflix movie, it is one of the at least top 10 movies that they ever put out. But yeah, I just wish there was a little bit more development. But I did like the story overall. It was really deep and really detailed. But I want them to dig a little bit deeper into the characters. That's my only flaw about the movie.
We are all in agreement with that. I think the biggest thing for me, I want to say the first thing that I told you guys about it when I first saw it was the fact that I wish that they had made it just like a 8 or 10 episode series as opposed to just the 2 hour movie, because you wanted to get that sense of a little bit more backstory so you can just kind of dig into the characters a little bit more and just be more invested into what was really going on, a lot of the interactions and stuff like that. I think the concept is awesome. I think the premise of it is really, really strong. But again, yeah, I think the only part that we're all in agreement about is the fact that it just kind of wish that you had a little bit more to go off of just so you could kind of get into it a little bit more. But I enjoyed it.
Especially
I
with
enjoyed it.
the backstory of the orcs or whatnot, and just the feud that the orcs and the humans had, and what took place for them to have this type of film. Because in my mind, I'm thinking of going Lord of the Rings when there was a whole divide between orcs, elves, and humans. And I don't, this is present day, so I'm guessing that elves are kind of how they were in medieval times. And if you looked at Lord of the Rings, and orcs and humans never really got along. But me personally, I thought Joel Edgerton did a good job with his character on the orc that he played of as Will Smith's partner. He kept the movie. He had a levity to the movie because there were some moments where I thought it was very slow. Will Smith acting doesn't seem like it's on par like it used to be. Certain scenes it seemed like he was kind of mailing it in, but his comedy take or whatnot was the thing that kind of kept me interested in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the concept. I like the concept that these brights controls these wands, and people are trying to get the wands, and they, if you don't know how to control it, it can kill you, and then those that can't control it, it can grant you wishes and all this. So it was pretty cool. But like you said, a good Netflix series would have been great.
So what's your overall grade?
I gave it a 7 out of 10, honestly, because how I do my ratings. I always base everything. Every movie starts at 5, so you can always add or subtract things. So I gave it like a 0.5 because the action, didn't give it a full point. Gave it a 0.5 for some of the dialogue. I did like some of the character interaction between Will, his name, and then I also gave it like a 0.5 for the concept, the story of what this want to turn into a series or something like that, or say that it gets the green light and enough people like it and say, okay, we can do a good 10 episode backstory about what went on, and to flesh out these characters. So I gave it a 0.5 and that. And I gave it a 0.5 because, like I said, Joel Edgerton, he kept it entertaining. He was funny. His character really had moments of that you can relate, kind of. He's like a fish out of water. So it's like certain things that he would say and certain things, his conversational skills were entertaining.
That's what's up. What you got, Will?
For me, I gave it 6 3/4 out of 10. My scale in like grip starts from 0 and works its way up. So I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression and think, oh wow, he's only gave it 6 3/4. Now mine starts from 0 and then you work your way up. You can either stay stuck at 0 or you can, continue to impress and work your way up. For the storyline, Edgerton's performance, the overall concept, some of the action in there, the effects and things like that were real big bonuses to me. The only thing that really kind of took it away and kept it from being higher than 6 3/4 for me is, again, I just wanted it to be a little bit more developed, give me a little bit more backstory, make me understand why Will Smith was so goddamn cynical in that movie. Let me understand exactly what this young man went through as an orc coming up, kind of being outcast on both sides. Give me a little bit more backstory into how the elves are the way that they are in the movie without me spoiling it. Those things kind of took it away from me giving it anything higher. But again, it's a movie that I enjoyed thoroughly. I think they did a good job. I just wish there were some more things. Just being selfish. I just wanted more.
Do you remember, Eric, when I was watching the movie, it kind of put me in the mind place of iRobot, how he was hating the robots, and then he was kind of racist against them.
Like,
and also,
like he just woke up angry and everything. Like,
Will, what you mad for? Are you mad because Jada went on the Twitter rant again?
Yeah, like
this is Will Smith right after Jada's tweet.
And it's like, okay, without giving any other spoiler, one of the things that kind of confused me is I didn't get enough backstory on how is it that you so cynical and jaded about everything, and why does everybody in your police department hate you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. What
Like
happened?
I didn't know, I didn't like, yeah, what happened to make like literally everybody hates you?
Yeah.
And then how you
It's
survive?
like if they didn't want Jacoby fired, they wanted him fired.
Oh, that's his
Yeah,
name. God, I liked him. He was good. He was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no doubt. It was good for a Netflix series, man. Anything y'all looking forward to coming out? I know the new year's on the horizon. I don't know if anything coming out early
Dave Chappelle.
2018. Dave Chappelle is coming out on New Year's. That is right.
His special comedy.
That is gonna be the
Seahawks coming
move.
out on New Year's. That's going to be interesting to watch. I know this previous weekend, for those of you out there that are like-minded like me and are a sucker for a good musical, I haven't got a chance to see it yet, but I probably will in the next couple of days. Pitch Perfect 3 came out.
Oh,
Definitely looking forward to that. Don't hate like that. It doesn't.
Hey man, I like the first one, but the second one was so bad to me. I was just like, oh,
I love them all.
It's like they forced these movies down my throat, and I'm just like, oh, the first one was so good. They try milking
cash, man. Don't hate.
They milking it, man. They milking it.
Stay hustle, bro. Stay hustle.
Man, it's just like, oh god, it's just like I understand get your money by all means, but sometimes it's just
that's
like
the nature of pretty much all sequels nowadays when it comes to movies.
Come on, Lethal Weapon should have been stopped, bro. Like, come on, let's not act like.
Oh, they kept on rolling.
Don't you disrespect Melon Daddy like that?
Hey, they was holding it down. Hey, it was kind of like Die Hard. It's like when he got to the fourth one, I was like, okay, Bruce.
Like Bruce.
I don't believe you holding it down like this.
We are not going to end the year with this kind of blasphemy on this broadcast now. You got to back up on that.
3. Y'all too old. Go sit down somewhere.
What is the next topic for this conversation?
Buzz, don't get mad at us.
This podcast is about to take a hard.
We shooting them old folks down. Shoot them down.
Right, you're right. Y'all show right.
I know we ain't caught the Dedication 6 yet, but what y'all was jamming throughout the Christmas weekend?
Man, okay, so I was let's go off topic a little bit. So I was watching Charlemagne's and Joe Budden's little end of the year wrap up. So they do like a lot of top 5 categories, top 5 lyricists and stuff like that. And it made me think about this. What are my top 5 albums of this year? Because they had like Rhapsody on there, they had Big Sean, they had Jay-Z, they had Kendrick. I forgot they have David Banner was in there. And I was thinking about my list of my top 5. And I personally want to throw out my top 5 since I really haven't been jamming anything new, because the project that I did jam was the Quavo dual album that I want to say combo album he did with somebody, and it was just really garbage, and I just was not about to talk about that. So what I did end up doing is thinking about the top 10 people that I jammed this year. And my first album is going to be Loot. I think that album was phenomenal. West Part was like West 1996 Part 2 was an amazing album. I want to give that as number 1. Number 2 is going to be it's a toss up between Kendrick Lamar and Big Crit, but I think I'm going to go with Big Crit, and then I'm going to go Kendrick. Damn, number 3. Number 4 is going to be Jay-Z 444, and then I'm going to have Sci-Hi at number 10.
At number 5?
Sci-Hi.
Okay.
Those are my best albums.
What you feel like, Will? You got a top 5 over there?
For me, unlike my younger, more aggressive colleague, I actually listen to more than just rap this year. So for me, I guess my 5 best albums that I'd say I've heard this year, no particular order. Bruno Mars straight destroyed it this year with his album. Must give that a mention. Big Crit destroyed, even with a late entry into the year with his album. Phenomenal, transcending type album. Like that puts you in the discussion of who's who all time type albums. Kendrick, of course, is in there. A guy that I used to watch his YouTube mashups, and I actually posted on the page about him, who I think is an extraordinary artist and had a great first album. Kevin Ross made my top 5. His album has not come out of my rotation since it's come out. And if I had to give one more, I would say Loot, and props to Griff for turning me on to it. Thoroughly enjoy that album. That would be my top five overall for me personally, just because it's my personal taste. I'm not saying that nobody is greater or lesser, but just for the stuff that I listen to, that was my top five for you.
Yeah,
Oh
Lou
no,
was incredible. Lou was really incredible, and it's amazing that you say that. And I'm glad you put him up there because when I was listening to Charlemagne's and Joe Budden's commentary over albums, I did they listen to everybody albums because I truly think Lute was very overlooked, and that album is a very pro '90s album that we haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
had an old
also
school flavor. That was one of the biggest appeals to it to me, is that it gave you that vibe, like, 90s, early 2000s type vibe, but it still had that modern feel to it. And I think that part of it is what really resonated with me, as far as making me enjoy it so much.
and then somebody else that I've been jamming, and I know I'm super late to this because I was in my own little petty nature. I wasn't really jamming R&B, but I got to give a little shout out to her. Her name is Her. For those who don't know, her album, well, I want to say it's not an album, EP that she dropped. It was Her Volume 2.
Uh-huh.
Phenomenal music. I'm
yeah.
talking about just,
She
it's
did
just
a thing on
amazing.
Jungle. She did a thing on Jungle for
On what?
on Jungle when she redid Drake track.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
man. She's incredible, man. I just been jamming this Avenue song nonstop, man.
Yeah, those are some good picks right there, man. Definitely shout out to my boy Killer Callion, Lorraine Motel earlier in the year. That one was jamming. Of course, Rick Ross had me set for the summer
Oh,
Oh
with
yeah,
his
that Rick
song.
Ross is nice, but I couldn't throw it in the top five.
No, I mean just honorable mentions.
Hey,
Like I
it's been
said,
good some good music. It's been get some good. Hey, Gibbs,
it's been
Gibbs.
it was yeah, it was a good year overall for music,
yeah,
actually.
Big,
It was a really
Big
strong
Sean
year
did
for
his
music.
thing. Yeah, the Jada versus Jada and Fab. They
Hey,
look.
that was nice. That was nice. It took me a while to grow on me, but I got around to liking it.
No, so there was a lot of good music, and unfortunately, having things have to drop, and we had to listen to Slim Thug born ass. But
Ooh,
You know
hey,
what?
shout out to Two
You know
Chains.
what?
Hey, Two
Leave
Chains held
Slim
it
Thug
down.
alone. 2 Chainz did his thing. I mean, honestly, it was actually a pretty good year for music. Better than I would have expected it to be coming.
The last year and a half has been damn good. The last year and a half,
Yeah, you can
very,
say that. You
very good
can.
for hip hop. But that's if you like Life of Pablo. That pretty much kickstarted it for me. If you was really jamming like that. But man, yeah, you like Life of
Uh,
Pablo? Not even a little bit, bro.
Man, it's just I try to vibe with Kanye, man, and it's just like,
I'm a Kanye dude, so you'll never get no complaints from me.
oh yeah, I'm a Kanye fan too, but sometimes it's just like when I was listening to somebody give a critique about music, and it's not so much as I'm trying to hate on it, it doesn't touch me or vibe or hit my spirit like a way another Kanye West or when I was listening to late registration or
Yeah.
graduation or
Oh no, that
808.
that vibe is gone. That vibe is gone, bro.
And it's not. I don't know if it's. I'm trying to search for it because it was so great when I was listening to it, or it's just like I'm not really trying to appreciate what he's doing right now. That's why I say I might have to go back in another year and go back when the wave has died off. And I tried to listen to Life of Pablo early this year, and I'm just like, man, I still wasn't trying to feel it. This is Life of Pablo and Yeezus are just two albums that I cannot
I'm
just.
with you on Yeezus. I can get with you
And
on
I
Yeezus.
I feel you on that, Griff, because for me, I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, pretty much like everything that he's ever done. Cannot feel Kingdom Come at all.
Oh, I do
To
not
this
like
day.
Kingdom Come. Hey,
To
but
this
it
day.
did.
Cannot
King,
feel Kingdom Come at all.
Kingdom Come Kingdom Come did have one of the greatest Jay Z songs in the Prelude. That song is phenomenal. I'm talking about just
Legit. I mean, it's a good album,
oh,
don't get me wrong, but as a guy that
the
came
whole.
up listening to him in his whole career and stuff like that, to me that feels like a money grab album. And it just completely rubbed me the wrong way.
I can believe it.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%,
Wilson, you
man.
sound sick over there. You all right?
Yes, that's
We'll
another
get you.
side effect of no. It's a side effect of going out and having so much fun with my godchildren for Christmas, and then yesterday I
Bruh,
had a event with a lot of my high school alumni. We all got together and hung out and ate and drank and pretended like we was young again. And unfortunately, that cold air got to me last night, so I woke up with a bit of a sniffle. But I'm in here. I'm doing my thing. I'm good.
I'm gonna
no,
tell you right.
you ain't the only one. Guess who woke up on Christmas sick also, sir?
Man,
On Christmas before the Texans game.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you right now. Something wrong with this weather. Houston weather need to get it
Bro, it's
together.
the most bipolar.
And it's about to get worse.
Yes, they talking about it make snow on New Year's Day. I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah, we getting the Arctic blast coming down through here for New Year.
Literally the other day, I got in the car and I was riding around. I had no jacket on. I just had some shorts on. It was kind of just
Oh,
warm.
you were savage out there, bro. What you doing?
No, it was like 70 something. It was
No,
I want to say
a couple of days
like
ago.
4 days ago.
Some degrees, yeah.
But then when I got in the car and then I drove for a little while, I got out of the car, I said, shit, it's cold out here. And then all of a sudden it's 40 something. I said, what's going on, man? I don't know what to dress for. I might as well pack up 3 different
just
pairs
keep
of clothes.
Back, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Keep a hoodie and some sweats in the trunk, just in case. A little raincoat, umbrella. Just be prepared for it all.
Really?
Some flip flops. Just I don't know. A heat wave might break out on January 3rd.
We never know.
We
might
need
wake up and be 100.
It's something in Houston that's been a little cold recently, and I ain't talking about the weather. I'm talking about all the Rockets.
Lord!
They've been coming up short. They lost 3 straight, couple injuries here or there, but it's the thrive of the
frozen.
season.
They not cold, they frozen. I don't know what happened to the Rockets. It's like right when I spoke on the Rockets, they just died on me, and I was just like, "What?"
Oh my goodness! I had no idea. So what happened to these gentlemen?
I would like to say, injuries have not been kind to us. We have lost Chris Paul. Capella's been out in and out of lineup. Badamute, that it's really starting to show that he's really a cog in a defensive scheme that we run. And then also, what's his name? PJ Tucker, man, he hasn't been playing the best basketball over this stretch.
Too much basketball.
Exactly. And when you start to show,
so you mean maybe going through and playing all those short 8-9 man rotations like you're in the playoffs already has started to take its toll on your team? Is that what you're saying?
You're missing 2 or 3 people, Wilson. Sometimes that lineup of 11 gets reduced to 8, and that's
you're missing 2 or 3 people, but you still got 13 on your roster sitting on your bench. You still use those people and get them experience. That's what championship teams do.
I agree.
Nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to listen.
Troy Williams is another small forward who's been hurt. Then you got Anukwa who's also hurt. They still calling up some randoms from the D League right now, man. This team is healthy, not healthy even at the D League part of it. I mean, it's a lot of injuries across.
And you do what it takes to manage those minutes and keep your key players in a position to be able to be as effective as possible when it comes to crunch time. Period.
But that's the thing about it. I remember when you brought that up in the last podcast when you were talking about the minutes. I went back and I looked at the last, I want to say, 12 games that the Rockets played, and pretty much everybody was playing under 33, 32 minutes for the most part. And then that's when Badamute went down, and then Nene went down, and then Capella went down. It was just like they start getting thrown off, and then that's when Chris Paul got hurt. So that kind of threw a lot of stuff off, but I truly think that the Rockets just need to get healthy and just ride the wave. And James Harden just has to control. He has to control the tempo better. He has to not feel like sometimes when you watch the games, you can feel like he has the pressure on him because sometimes they just go cold and he's just looking at ways to try to heat that team up because there's nobody else that can kind of get their own shot or whatnot. So you can kind of see the deficiencies. And hopefully, and like what I've always said is, I love Trevor Ariza. I love him to death, but I wish we would trade and try to get another small forward that can help ignite the team when James Harden is not going or Chris Paul doesn't have it. Just that true small forward that can go get his points like a what's his name that's in Denver. Man, I can't think of his name. It's Wilson Chandler or a Batum type of player, somebody who can go and get their own buckets. Because Ariza can't always do it.
He try to get aggressive, and that handle just be so loose.
It'd be so ugly. I'd be like, no, what are you doing, Jeremy Lin? Light out there. It's so loose with the ball.
It'd be so loose with it, but yeah, man. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Can I say this? And I know he's out there somewhere. This would really be a good time to have Terrence Jones on the squad. If we had Terrence Jones or what's his name? What was our other backup power forward?
Josh Smith?
No. What's the one we got rid of? What's his name? Oh man. Oh, he was our popular power forward.
Demo,
yeah. If we had Demo,
we did nice right now. We did Demo so dirty.
And we did him very dirty, man. It's karma.
But I mean the same way y'all did folks like Olajuwon? That kind of
man. Look,
you know what? Never mind. Bottom line. I just want it to be known that, in the midst of everybody, just hating on Uncle Buzz and just figuring that he was just talking down because it was a rival and stuff like that. I let y'all know from the beginning of the season that it was more important for y'all to get a big than a guard because that was going to help y'all long term. Not to sound psychic. And B, uh, you will never ever get any sympathy from me because the bottom line is your best player is still playing on your team, so you should still be winning. My team has started out the first quarter of the season without their best player. You ain't heard no complaints over that way.
Boy,
But
that's a whole nother different
hey,
story. The Spurs is
hey,
like
we
Spurs
suit
is
up and lace them up and play the same way y'all do. It ain't no excuses. Period.
that is true. That is true. That is true. That is
Period.
true. I
And
have to
you've
agree with
seen
you.
Popovich get outside of his normal because he's been playing 12 and 13 man rotations so the young guys can kind of get in the mix because you anticipate for injuries or that next man up coming into effect when it counts. So you have guys like the Bryn Forbes and the Joffrey Laverns that are getting minutes and getting time and getting experience so they're not shell shocked when they have to be thrown in the game. That's the difference. Mike D'Antoni can do those things with some of the players that he has available to him. He just chooses not to. And that's going to cost him in the long run, especially when it comes to the playoffs.
I can understand that, and that's why I kind of like I saw what you were talking about, but we was riding that wave of that streak.
I
Now
feel
it's
you.
kind
It
of
was
down.
magical. It was magical. It was all about the Rockets. It was, unicorns and glitter and beards and CP3s busting off shots, and we undefeated without CP3. Okay, cool. All right, whatever. Right. It's all good.
Boy,
Us
All
Rockets,
Marcus
good. It
don't
was
man.
all
see.
good a week ago.
It ain't. It ain't. It
Listen,
ain't. It ain't the much positivity in Houston right now. Let us.
yeah, man, Wilson, it's cold outside. I'm just so negative, man. Ain't no sun shining. Ever since
The
the
soup
Rockets
don't
started losing,
taste
the
the
sun left.
same.
Man, I'm telling you, man. Ever since the Rockets started losing, the sun just left. It's all
Crime rate
depressing
went
and
up.
rain, and
People
yeah,
mad.
crime went down. Everybody just sitting in the house, just mad.
Everybody
Christmas didn't even feel the same.
First off, Christmas was terrible. Just going, just going. Let me just break this down to y'all. Okay, I went to the Steelers Texans game. I did dress in my Le'Veon Bell jersey, but that was to support my cousin because he was a huge Steelers fan, and I didn't want him to cheer on his own. Boy, was I wrong. Boy,
Okay.
was I wrong because that whole goddamn stadium had yellow
Was black
towels
and gold.
waving everywhere. Mike Tomlin, we was on the side of the Steelers. Mike Tomlin came out screaming in the stands. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Stand up, Steelers Nation. And it was just ridiculous. The
Anything
whole
less?
it's not that. It's the fact that you go out there, the away team takes up your stadium, then you lay an egg like that. Like that was the most embarrassing game
But I
I've
just,
been to.
how is it embarrassing? This is the thing. I've y'all hear this echo? I don't know if y'all hear that echo, but I don't think it's embarrassing for the simple fact is I didn't expect nothing for the Texans to even compete in that game. I mean, I know they don't have the
The
Steelers don't have
the
Antonio Brown.
atmosphere is embarrassing.
Well, I mean, you have this is how Texans fans are. This is how Houston fans are. We ride it when it's hot, but when it's all broken and down, we want to get rid of this coach. We don't want to ride the hurt wave. We're hostile. We're fair weather fans because look at the Browns. The Browns can be sucking every year, but the fans still show up. The fans still support the team. Same with the Bills. When the Bills were on their downward spiral, fans still showing up to the game, turning out. The Texans are doing good. Oh, it's all HEB commercials and JJ Watt all over the place. But when the Texans
Oh,
start losing, let's get rid of Bill O'Brien. Let's quarterback is our issue. I mean, the defense is terrible. Do we just forget about injuries that we've had? Do we talk about just the bad stream of just things that happened to the Texans? But it's like the Houston fans don't live in reality. We live in this fantasy land like, oh, we're still supposed to be good when we lost JJ Watt and all these pieces. The secondary can't stop anybody from catching the ball. I'm just like, what are we expecting to do? And then we put it on Bill O'Brien like he's the culprit in all this. Oh, Bill O'Brien, I'm sorry. You're not beating any of these other better teams with the third string quarterback. I mean, it's like it's ridiculous.
no, I'm not here to point fingers at nobody. I'm just saying
I
that
would
that atmosphere was super embarrassing, man. Like super embarrassing for the city. And then on top of that, they was using JJ Watt for cheap cheers. And what I mean by that, They do the little kiss cam. All of a sudden, they find JJ next to his girlfriend, or they doing like commercial breaks. Where's JJ? JJ over there chilling in a Burberry jacket. It's like, man, like this what we become. We become the JJ sideshow when he's hurt.
Exactly. That's how it's always been. We saw that on Hard Knocks.
Like,
Stood out
bro,
like a sore thumb. And that's the kind of negative spin that it is. We became the JJ team.
Rick Smith down there dapping people up before the
Man,
game like
he
he
need to be
doing
gone.
something. I'm like, bro, it's just I was just
Yes, he's the who's of all who's.
bro, I was just so disgusted. I was so disgusted, bro. Like you don't even know. On Christmas, bro, I'm sick. I'm in this fucking Steelers jersey, mad, want to rip it off. My cousin, he in the Deshaun Watson jersey, getting cash money shit. Talk to him the whole time, bro.
But you should be happy because ain't you a Steelers fan?
It's not about that. It's not about that. It's still my city. I don't want to see the city go out like that.
Hey man,
I didn't have fun, bro.
it's gonna even get even worse. Jacoby Brissett gonna come in here and whoop our ass next week. I mean this week. So
and then we're gonna get swept by the Jaguars and the Colts in the same season
without Andrew Luck.
Christ. Oh my goodness.
Frank Gore, get your 100.
Hey, Frank Gore doing his thing, man. I'm glad he over there stacking those stats up.
Him and Larry.
Case. Hey, Larry doing his thing too, man. I hope he stick around and break some more records. I think he only got like one more big one. What, second in receiving yards? That's the only big one he got left.
Yeah, he ain't catching. He ain't catching
Jerry. He ain't catching Jerry. No, I think he can't.
Nobody's catching Jerry.
I think he can catch Tony though. I think he can catch Tony.
He passed Tony.
Tony is catchable. Jerry Rice is not catchable.
No, Jerry Rice not catchable. No,
he passed Tony because he's second in receiving yards. I want to say. He passed that early this year.
You sure that wasn't receptions or was it yards?
I know
he passed one. He was close.
Passed receptions and yards. Let me check while we keep on talking.
Yeah, that's what's up. But yeah, man. But that boy Todd Gurley been doing his thing as far as the MVP case, man. It's hard to move fast in right now. The way he's been running that rock, leading his team. I think you got to give it to him at this point, bro.
He's made a late push, and I think they'll probably get it by default. Although there are still legitimate cases that can be made, although conventional wisdom and precedents that have been set as far as how folks usually vote on MVPs would say otherwise. But legitimate case can be made for Case Keenum. Legitimate case can be made for Antonio Brown. Legitimate case can be made. To a certain extent for Carson Wentz, even though he's been hurt. I mean, he has enough on his body of work. He's played the majority of the season to still be considered. But yeah, right now, especially with the
explosion games he having,
truckload of numbers that he's put up these last few games, it's hard to not really think about Todd Gurley and an MVP.
I mean, it's like the scenario of him is just setting up so nicely with. Let's see who got hurt. It's like Carson Wentz got hurt. Not Andrew Luck. Tom Brady starts struggling. Russell Wilson starts struggling. And he just start having these explosion games.
You don't want to step this game up,
especially in games that they needed it. They needed these games. The Rams needed to win these certain amount of games so they can capture their division. So, and then also on the front of Larry Fitzgerald, he is, I want to say, 500 yards behind Terrell Owens for the second in receiving yardage.
Okay, so it's just T.O. he got to pass up.
Yeah, he ain't catching Jerry. Jerry got 22K, and he at 15. Ain't gonna happen.
Jerry Rice's numbers across the board are so ridiculous, and that's why when people get into these greatest player of all time things, I don't understand why people don't automatically put Jerry Rice up there. Jerry Rice, from a sports perspective, statistically is so dominant, up head and above everybody in terms of numbers and the gap in between. The only sport that you can see anything that compares to that is Wayne Gretzky in hockey. The numbers that Jerry Rice puts up when you actually look at them on paper are even more ridiculous when you actually see them. And you're like, wow, he was how old when he did this? This dude was still having 1,000-yard seasons when he was like 38.
197 touchdowns, and the second person is Randy Moss with 156.
Exactly,
that's crazy.
Like, there's nobody active there's nobody active unless they go on the world's greatest hit. Like, Antonio would have to keep being Antonio for about 7 or 8 more years.
Shit, Antonio would have to do like 120 and 18. 1,800 yards.
And this is another crazy stat. When you were talking about receptions, Larry Fitzgerald's number 3. He could pass up Tony Gonzalez if he needs 100 and he needs 101 yards. So he gonna play next year to break that.
Yeah.
But he ain't catching Jerry. Jerry got
he ain't catching.
Ain't nobody catching Jerry. Ain't
Jerry's
nobody
the gold standard. Yeah, he the gold standard, man.
But yeah, man, it's I don't know. Gurley he's probably gonna get it by default, like Marcus said. But there's gonna be an argument they can make for Antonio if he never got hurt, Wentz if he never got hurt. But they're probably gonna give it to Gurley just because he stayed hurt and he played consistently. He's been the bright spot in that whole offense.
But my thing is this: do you really want it if you're Todd Gurley?
Knowing him, he probably doesn't want it. He probably don't care about it.
The thing about it is this that a lot of people don't realize and understand. The MVP for the NFL has almost been like the Heisman in college. There hasn't been an NFL MVP to win a Super Bowl since 1999. No MVP in the NFL has won a Super Bowl this century. Not one.
All right, well, they're going to give Tom Brady.
We saw what last year's MVP did.
Oh my God!
It's more of a playoff curse than a blessing. That's why I'm like, okay, yeah, you can make a strong case for it, but do you really want it, Todd?
It's a career curse. It's a career curse. Look at what's his name? Look at the MVP this year, struggling. Look at Cam, struggling.
Oh yeah.
And just let me just
quick side note, quick stat, just to let me have my moment to mourn. Shouts out to my boy BJ Nix, big guy on our page. He pointed out an interesting stat. This year, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Packers, the 49ers, and the Redskins will not make the playoffs. This is the first season since 1964 that those teams have not been in the playoffs. That is a long stretch. That's the first time in the modern era of pro football that all of those teams are not in the playoffs. It's definitely telling as far as how the league is now. It speaks a lot to kind of changing of the guard, the kind of ways things move around and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really surprising. But I really sat and thought about it. I was like, wow, it is kind of weird. I haven't seen, all of those teams that are traditionally, strong or make their playoff appearances and stuff like that to not be in for the first time since 64. It's crazy.
I like to say that the 49ers, and I like to call this, and I may be wrong, but the 49ers going to make a huge turnaround just like the Jags did next year.
Oh, well, trust and believe that division has been flipped for the next 5 to 7 years. It's going to be all Rams and 49ers.
Ooh, because Jimmy.
Man, y'all thought I was playing, bro. When I seen him at workouts, he was playing around with the 60-yard, and y'all thought I was joking. He was playing around with it, bro.
I watched the highlights of the Jags game. Wow. I shouldn't have doubted that, man.
He was playing
I'm not tripping. They're on a schedule next year. I'll get to see Jimmy up close and personal. They play against Green Bay.
He ain't that nice. He tough. He don't make mistakes. Well, it's early. It's still early, but
he got so far so good.
Y'all want to talk fantasy or not?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Man, I didn't start Jimmy Garoppolo and I started Mariota and I thought my season was over.
That's what you get.
But but I thought because he's playing against the Jags and the Jags. I mean, Russell Wilson. The only reason why he put up the only
Jimmy G said, "Look here, I'm Jimmy G, homie. Jags, I'll burn them.
Yeah, he did.
Patriots, I'll burn them too. I don't care.
I saw the highlights and I was very impressed with just his it's just like, dang, he was slicing the dice. And it just goes to show you that it kind of reminded me of when I was watching him last year. He stood out, man. He did something amazing about him. He just looked good. And with the eyeball test, you got to give it to the man.
Speaking of, it's time for you to go ahead and give Todd Gurley his apology too.
I like to apologize to Todd Gurley.
You traded the man. You tried to trade him again.
I traded him. I traded him in one league, and I regret it. I thought that Devontae Freeman was going on his breakout candidacy. I mean, he was going to have like the greatest breakout on the second half of the season with the Atlanta Falcons schedule. That was disappointing. And I like to say, Todd Gurley, I doubted you. DeMarcus sang your praises in the preseason. I listened to him in a few leagues and drafted you, and you brought me 2 trophies, and I appreciate that.
And I will go ahead and give my apology to Jordan Howard. I
doubt. Apologize. Yeah, apologize. 2 touchdowns.
You wasn't impressive all year, but you did string together a lot of huge performances and won a lot of fantasy weeks. So hey, I doubted Jordan Howard. He still ended up as an RB1 to end the season.
Marcus, you got to apologize to anybody that you
I would like to apologize to everybody that did not listen to me at the beginning of the year when I raved about a young man coming out of the University of Tennessee and tried to tell you and tell you and tell you how good he would be in Sean Payton's system in New Orleans. So for all of you guys that laughed at me and did not pick up Alvin Kamara, hopefully you're not in the keeper league and you got a shot to get him next year. Because if not, kiss the baby.
Hey, all good calls, man. We've made some good calls on fantasy. I like to say.
Yeah, we had some good calls. We had some good calls on the divisions, just like overall as far as how we thought some folks' seasons would go and stuff like that. We were pretty
Y'all
solid.
laughed at me. Y'all laughed at me with that Jaguars. I said they may win the division, and what happened?
Hey, I only had them a game behind Tennessee.
Hey,
I only
man,
had them a game behind Tennessee. Who knew that Marcus Mariota was going Marcus Mariota?
I didn't know. I didn't see that happening at all, especially with the weapons he had.
Bro, Mariota, Carr, Winston.
No, don't put Winston in. Don't put Winston in there.
I got it.
Because Winston, it's the turnovers, but man, he looks good, man. He puts up some numbers. I can't.
I mean, he still put up.
He puts up numbers, but it's one thing to put up numbers in quarters 2 and 3. I need to put them up in quarter 4.
Put him in there. Put him in there.
Dak Prescott.
Oh yeah, Dak got to go in.
Matt Ryan, Eli Manning, Joe Flacco for half the season.
Matthew Ryan.
It's been some stinkers. It's really been some stinkers, bro.
Jeez, Louise. Pretty much Atlanta as an offense, period.
Blake Bortles. Yeah. Holding it down.
Now, Blake Bortles been doing this. There's a lot of quarterbacks that was doing their thing this year. I mean, that wasn't the issue. You just have to have one.
What's the name of that San Diego coach? What's
Anthony Lynn?
Coach? Anthony Lynn. Anthony, if you listen to this right now, damn it, if you don't quit this on again, off again, love affair with my tight end, shit. You better leave Hunter Henry in that damn lineup, Anthony Lynn.
Oh, he on Hunter
Henry.
Yeah, he's hurt now, but we went through the whole season with him. Play a game, miss a game, play a game. Oh, I don't want to give him no touches. I want to give him 9 touches. Oh, I want to give him no. Man, if you don't put that thoroughbred in there, Antonio Gates already got his records, man. There's no reason to keep throwing him in the red zone, man. Give it to the young Hunter and let him get me some points.
Baker Mayfield gonna be there next year, so he's gonna be there watching.
Man, you better stop that shit right now.
We're looking to draft him.
Hey man, and a shout out to Zach Ertz. He came through clutching for us too this whole year. We was really high on him.
Oh, I mean, Ertz was top 5 anyway coming in. He was just he was doing Zach Ertz things. But yeah, heck of a season, man. Heck of a season. Him, the usual suspects for tight end showed up this year. Ertz, Rudolph, Kelsey, Gronk,
Evan Ingram.
But Ertz, man.
Ingram.
Yeah.
That was kind of by default. I mean, there was literally nobody else to throw to.
Jack Dolan.
It was either him or Tavares King in New York. So yeah, I mean, Evan was gonna win.
Oh yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how he does next year with their receiving core coming back a little bit healthier.
And I like to throw it out there for all the people that been sending me messages or contacting me about one Dalvin Cook. Let it be known, if Dalvin Cook if he would have started the whole entire season, he would have been Rookie of the Year. Look what the Vikings offense has done with all their running backs, no matter who's been back there. And pitching, if Dalvin Cook was back there, I'm telling you, he would have been the Rookie of the Year. And
they pretty much functioning like Denver did under Shanahan. Just put any back there and it'll get 1,000.
Exactly, and that's why I can't wait he's falling down. He's going to follow. I was listening earlier. They were talking about pre-drafting ranks next year and how he's going to fall down. I said, oh, that's going to be a whole bunch of steals.
Good.
Man, I think
need to pick him up in a few leagues.
I think running backs are going to fly early this year. They didn't really fly this year. A lot of people are still iffy on the running backs, but
yeah, and it'll always pertain to what kind of league you're running in. If you're in PPR, then people will be a little bit cooler. But if you run more traditional scoring type leagues and stuff like that, running backs should always fly off the board early.
Oh, I like to, I can't wait to get my belt for the Fish and Grits League.
Whatever.
Don't be a hater, man. Don't be a hater. Hey,
I'm not hating, man. I'm not hating. Congratulations.
Going into next year, I wanted to talk about 4 people that we're high on, each one of us by position. 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end that we're going to be high on next year. And I want to start off by saying from the quarterback position, I'm going with Mr. 40 plus himself. That's going to be Deshaun Watson.
Oh, Oh my god.
You already know I was gonna say
Oh my
for
god.
running back, it's gonna be Davin Cook, and I'm really gonna be high on him next year. For wide receiver, once again, I'm gonna be high on this guy next year. I wasn't too high on him last year, but if I'm high on Mr. 40, I'm gonna be high on the number one wide receiver in the league right now, and that's DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh
And
my
and
god.
uh, and then for my tight end, I'm gonna go with OJ Howard. Brady's in the contract. He probably won't be there next year, and just that offense and what they're gonna need, I think OJ Howard and what I've seen this year, he gonna have a breakout year next year.
Okay, that's what's up, man. If I had,
Why you saying, oh my God, to DeAndre Hopkins? He's been holding it on, man, with Mr.
nah,
Fantasy
I,
catch.
I understand, sir. It's fine. I know where we live. I know where we broadcast from. It's fine.
Hey, no. The argument
I'm just
has been
messing
brought
with
up.
you. You get it.
Can Deshaun? Can DeAndre? Ken Hopkins? I kept messing it all the way up. I'm still sleepy, y'all. I'm still sleepy, y'all. Sleepy.
just died over this.
I'm dying over there. I don't know if I'm
Got
gonna
that
say
boy shook. He was so
Deshaun
shook.
Watson or what I want to say. Is
Boy,
DeAndre
you know who the
Hopkins?
hell I meant. You know who the hell I meant. You know the
I feel
boy.
like
That
somebody that
boy.
boy, you know what I'm talking about. That hop,
That
that
boy.
hop boy.
You know what I meant. You know
Is
what I meant. The
Hopkins
10. The boy that wear that 10. That
the one
boy.
with the long hair that carries a poodle around?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot he carried a poodle.
Yeah,
Look,
I
hit
would
me
never
with the
forget that
haircut.
one. I'll never forget that him talking about carrying a dog in his little satchel. So,
Well, man,
That's the
if
Texan way.
I
do
threw
you
my
think
names out
he's?
there, what you got? What you got against D Hop?
Do y'all think he's a top 3 wide receiver?
You said, what do I have against D-Hop?
Yeah.
Professionally, nothing. Like, you have to remember, I'm a Florida State fan. I had to watch him kill my team for like 3 years playing in
Mhm.
Clemson. So it's not like I'm gonna be jumping up and down loving him. No, player. No. No.
Nah,
That's what I'm trying to.
That's like the same thing with like Andre Johnson. I love Andre Johnson. I've had a chance to meet him plenty of times. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met to come out of the league and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I had to tell him I love you and I hate you. You're a damn hurricane. You destroyed my team for 3 years. I'm not gonna get over that. It's just not gonna happen.
nah, I got you. Well, yeah, it's really not 3 receivers I can pick over D Hop. So yeah, he definitely top 3 fantasy wise.
The only wide receiver, and I don't care if we're talking fantasy, real life, or whatever, the only wide receiver that I can put over D Hop is Antonio Brown, and that's
Yeah.
just barely at this point.
Mm.
And I mean, that's just barely at this point. From a regular, like what you see out on the field, not a fantasy football related type question and stuff like that, I'll take him over Odell, Julio, everybody else. Close to me to Hopkins is Antonio Brown. That's it. It's 2-man race. Everybody else is on a different tier.
Yep.
I agree with that. If Odell were to mature, I'll put him at number 1 because the simple fact is he's faster than Hopkins, and that his breakaway
Well,
speed is
the
ridiculous.
thing for me about it when it comes to the difference between him and Odell, Odell to me is explosive and he's better on the yak part of it. But I think that D Hop is better on the route running. He's better
I
on
agree.
discipline, and to me, he has much better hands.
That is true. He does have them huge hands.
Yeah, that's the big difference right there. Man, the quarterback that I throw out there would probably be Kirk Cousins because I don't think he's going to be in Washington. I think wherever he goes, they're
Man,
going to cater that offense to him, and I think he's capable of definitely being a top 5 quarterback. Which he
If
was
he goes to the
almost one this
Browns,
year. Nah, he ain't that desperate, bro.
man, they're a quarterback away. They a quarterback away. I watched them
he may
Browns
go
games
to
this year.
the Browns, man. But for my thing, and people call me crazy or whatever, I'm just kind of intrigued. I'm not sold on just giving somebody the shaft after 1 year, especially under these circumstances. See what you got out of Deshaun Kaiser. You saw flashes, especially once Josh Gordon got into the lineup. There's already rumors about the fact that Terrell Pryor wants to come back there, and that was when he put in his best performances was in a Browns uniform. I mean, give it a shot.
See,
Put your money and your investments in better areas where you can actually make more immediate improvements, a la O-line, D-line, a playmaker on offense at the running back spot, maybe to kind of help spell out. I just don't understand why everybody is so hell-bent on insisting that the Browns have to pick a quarterback at number 1 when there's so much more talent in areas that they need to address.
the only reason why I want the Cousins is because, like what you said, I heard Terrell Pryor wants to go back there, and having Terrell Pryor, Josh Gordon, Corey Coleman, and then you have what's that tight end dude, Njoku,
And
and then
Joku, yeah.
Crowell is
And
not
now, don't get
terrible
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If they pick up Cousins in free agency, that's different. I'm talking
Or
about as far as drafting
Yeah,
a
I don't
quarterback.
think they should draft one, but the
Yeah.
cousin is tailor made for the offense because they
Oh
have
yeah. If they can
yeah,
get Cousins, do that.
because Coleman is basically
or
Crowder.
y'all forgetting the biggest thing about everything. Once Big Ben retires, or if he decides to retire, it's gonna be an opening in Pittsburgh, and they will gladly take the product of Michigan State easily.
That would be
Kirk
nice. I
Cousins
never,
ain't worried about Pittsburgh. He don't like Pittsburgh like that, man.
You don't know. You don't know, bro.
I said it.
yeah, that is a good place to go.
I
That is
said
a
it.
good place to go.
Don't be trying to lobby. Don't be
I'm
trying to
just
lobby.
saying. I'm just saying.
Trying to intersect the Browns once again.
I'm just saying, bro.
Landry Jones said, "Nah, player, this all me right here. Kirk who? This is my spot, homie."
And man, when it comes to running back, I'm really hoping that the Titans gonna cut bait with DeMarco Murray and get at backfield of Henry and at least see what he can do for a full season. So that's gonna be another guy I'm gonna be high on again. He made some explosive plays this year. He just didn't have the carries as usual.
Watch him in week 17.
That's what I'm saying. So he got to go out there, put some work in, and make them boys jealous. At the receiver spot, man, it's a lot out there. I think somebody's gonna be a little higher on my draft board. It's gonna be Adam Thielen. I feel he brought a lot of consistency. He just got to get consistency from the quarterback position. But the talent is there. He can run all the routes, make all the catches, and he's a true deep threat who can still run all the routes. You know, there's not a lot of receivers you can say that about in the NFL. So that'll be the guy I go for receiver and going to tight end. Eric Ebron, bro. I think he's back.
Still got faith, huh?
I still got faith, and he looks good,
good.
and he's only 24 years old. I mean, come on,
Most
man.
definitely.
Like,
Yeah, it's not like he's ready to go out the pasture.
yeah, I mean, this is when tight ends start to cut up. Remember Antonio Gates? He started cutting up at like 24, 25. Jimmy Graham. So Eric Ebron, you getting the targets now. You just got to have a good offseason. I think he in the contract here, so he's trying to get paid, but you're going to have to bring that same thing next year, too. And if Sam Stafford get that, Matt Stafford get that, it's going to be a wrap.
Boy, we all drunk on this podcast. We all messing up, man. That
Oh,
boy said Sam Stafford.
okay.
I'll say Sam.
For me, at quarterback, I'm gonna continue to sing his praises, and I'm gonna be interested in seeing if he continues to progress. But I think that Jared Goff is going to take another step next year, being more comfortable in that offense and working around. I think he's going to move into that top 10, top 8 category as far as QBs next year. At the running back spot, I'm going to be a bit of a homer because I like what I saw out of him. I know my boy DeMarcus was kind of on his side in the beginning, but we had to wait and see because we didn't know how much opportunity he was going to get. But I think that Jamal Williams is going to have a good season next year. I think he's going to take that next
him
step.
in every league and cut him. Oh my god!
I mean, potentially now that they know what they have, and now that they know that the way that they want to work it and stuff like that, I can legitimately see him.
It was so petty why I did it too, bro. Because I drafted him, I got frustrated because that one game when he finally got in and got hurt, I said, man,
he was terrible. Yeah,
Packers. I just dropped all the Packers.
Uh-huh.
I had Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, all of them.
And if you watch that game, he could have had a bigger game if Hundley even looked towards his way and throwing the ball. I was frustrated, and I know Marcus had to be frustrated because I'm not even a Packers fan. I just had him on my fantasy squad, and even looking past fantasy, he was open so much, and Hundley would not throw him the ball at all, and I did not understand that.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to play on Bell Road.
They could have won that game because the Vikings weren't even playing that good.
Yeah,
that's true. No, they wasn't. They was half-assing out there. That whole game just looked bad. That was a terrible game.
It was just ugly to watch. I was just like, gross. That game and the Colts game was ugly with the Ravens. Oh
man, made my heart hurt. Oh.
Alex Collins was just killing.
Let me go bold prediction at my next position. Next year for wide receiver.
Devontae.
Just call it a weird feeling, but I think that this guy, and I'll just call my shot, I think that this guy is going to be a solid top 5 fantasy receiver next year. He has all the tools around him to succeed. He has just enough to where he's not going to get too much in the way of pressure. Should see a lot of one-on-ones, and his maturity as he gets better at doing his job and stuff like that should produce huge numbers. I am super high on Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, he looks good, man.
I think that him and Wentz have definite chemistry. I think the fact that Alshon Jeffrey is on the other side of him long term to go with Ertz in that slot is going to work wonders for him, getting him tons of one-on-ones. He continued to work on his footwork and his route running. He's going to be very hard to defend one-on-one, and I think that Wentz is going to capitalize on that. I can legitimately see him having a 1,600-yard season with double-digit touchdowns next year.
And he should become super, super cheap because he gave everybody a big fat zero if you play with him in the championship game.
Oh, yes. Tight end. And I guess it's conditional because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be necessarily. But I like Njoku out of Cleveland. He's got a lot of talent. He has tons of opportunity because there's really nobody there to push him or move him out of that spot. And, you know, with the right quarterback, if they can get somebody like a Kirk Cousins or something like that, oh, yeah, Kirk Nubb's throwing to that tight end. And that guy's athletic enough to catch everything that Kirk will throw at him.
Kirk going to Pittsburgh. He ain't got time for that.
Bruh.
He ain't going to Pittsburgh.
Ben, after he gets shafted in his AFC Championship game, is going to come back for another year to try to get revenge anyway. James Harrison going to sack him to win the game on the final play.
Ooh, that'd be
couple timely offsides for the Steelers. Y'all don't know. This could be an inside job. Y'all don't know. They could have programmed.
They purposely let him go so he can go to the Patriots.
Yeah, sabotage the Patriots. Give him the wrong calls. Yeah,
we gonna when Antonio Brown gets back, we need y'all to double cover him. Don't worry about Juju.
Okay.
Now you better worry about Juju.
More like Debo mad because y'all gave that young Watt all his playing time.
Hey man,
Watt look good.
Still got gas left in the tank.
Not
like that.
Not that young gas. He ain't got the young gas.
You don't do that. You don't do that.
James Harris need to worry about moving freeways and shit.
You hire him for funerals and shit. Hey,
exactly, moving the casket.
Okay.
Can you carry my brother?
Yeah, we forgot to book Paul Pierce today. Carry that coffin for me, please. Thank you.
Oh, dang.
Give me $20 and a glass of yak, just a glass. I don't need the whole bottle. I'm trying to watch.
I need the whole bottle.
Trying to watch my.
All right, so who's making it to the Super Bowl, fellas? Call your shot.
I like to say that the Saints are gonna make it there. I like that whole offense. The only thing the thing I question is looking at Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas looked like he was hurt out there with his hamstring issue, so I don't know how that's gonna hamper him going forward. But he could have easily had one screenplay that he took. He would have easily took it to the house, but he looked like he was just slow on, and he pulled up gimp on that leg. So I have the Saints, but if not the Saints, maybe man, I can't even tell you honestly. I don't even know. It's probably gonna be the Patriots. If not the Patriots, I see the Jaguars upsetting everybody.
Don't you say that shit. You know the Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
They ain't going to the Super Bowl. Antonio Brown is
Antonio Brown is all right.
He pretending that he look all right, man. He was limping out there on his little.
He doing it for show. He doing it for the gram. He all right. He good.
Well, my fantasy squad was in shambles without him.
Sniffing grams.
He said, "Nah, bro. Steelers going to the bowl. Big Ben gonna retire. Kirk Cousins going to Pittsburgh. I've been told y'all."
So who Pittsburgh playing in the Super Bowl then?
Pittsburgh gonna beat Drew Brees in the Super Bowl.
Oh, so y'all both got the Saints, huh?
The only reason why I got the Saints is because I just like Kamara, and I just like looking at their team play. I sat up there and watched their game on
Brees' arm
Sunday.
is so damn fresh right now. He ready to go out there and throw for 500 if he need to win the game. He ready.
I saw that one he thrown the tag in. It was nice.
That's what I'm saying. They ain't even been doing that all year. That's the first, maybe the second big month you seen tag in there.
They have so much of a scary running game that everybody gonna forget about they deep receivers.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
They're gonna forget about Snead and Ted Hinn and all them. They're gonna have some nice deep touchdowns because he still got that arm, like you said. But who Marcus got? Who you got? The Green Bay Packers gonna come back and win?
Green.
And see,
Aaron Rodgers,
it's so ironic that he would choose to throw shade at my team like that, because what I was going to say is a little bit of the Giants back in '90 have that little bit of flair to them. My pick was actually the Eagles. Call me crazy. It's kind of the same situation that the Giants had in '90 with their starting quarterback going down. Their backup leading them all the way to the Super Bowl with a very vanilla offense, solid running game, pretty good receivers, but a very opportunistic, strong, hungry defense. And they're playing with the benefit of home field advantage. As you guys just mentioned, can't really play outside in the cold in December and January.
Nick Foles looked so bad against the Raiders that I just
lost
lost
about how bad he looked when it came against the Raiders. We're talking about playoff time. We're talking about when you dumb down the sheet, when you go through and you get down to those basic fundamental principles that get you there in the first place. Y'all's coach is not a dummy. He's not going to go out there and try to give him the whole playbook. They're going to use all those running backs that they have. They're going to take advantage of that defense. And most importantly, they're going to take advantage of the fact that all of these prissy, ultra-modern, we play on fast tracks in indoor stadiums are going to have to come outside to nasty-ass Philadelphia to try to win a game and get to the Super Bowl.
And it's going to be cold. It was going to be cold.
And because I don't like anybody else over there, and it would just be fun to see something new, I'm gonna go for Eagles and Jags in the Super Bowl.
Oh, the Jags! It is gonna be the Jags because Bortles, even his 3 interceptions that he threw.
Jalen Ramsey is going to pick off Big Ben like 4 times, bro.
And Joe Hayden gonna take one to the house, pimp.
Joe Hayden gonna break his other knee. Joe Hayden ain't doing nothing.
Joe Hayden ain't doing nothing.
Joe Hayden been chilling. He was over there with Zeke and Cabo.
Joe Hayden gonna
getting fresh.
Quit his job like Joe Budden just did.
Joe Hayden's gonna be gone because let me tell you right now, Blake Bortles playing some of the best football. And if you watch those 3 interceptions, don't not be fooled because guess what? 2 of those interceptions wasn't even his fault. So Blake Bortles been holding it down. There was 2 touchdowns that should have been called.
In the playoffs, man. If you got a jackhammer at running back to fall back on, then you in pretty good hands. Blake Bortles ain't gonna have to throw that ball 35 times a game for them to win. Leonard Fournette has plenty of rest. They sat him out under the guise of being injured or whatever for a couple of games. That was just so he can get rest, so he can get ready to get this workload in the postseason. Trust and believe.
He ain't no Le'Veon though, but yeah, that's cool.
Boy, stop.
He ain't a Levy, but he gonna ground and pound. He'll wear the defense out more than Le'Veon does.
What? Yeah, he a better workhorse back than Le'Veon.
Le'Veon don't wear the defense out. He don't.
Right back, but he's not a jackhammer. He's not a workhorse.
Leonard with those bum ass ankles, man. Come on.
Oh my God, the hate does not match your outfit.
Don't y'all hate on Bill. Don't y'all hate on the man that had 85 receptions at running back.
Oh my God.
And led the league in carries. Come on, don't do that, y'all. Don't do that.
Okay.
How many people got 400 touches?
Get a flat tire in the playoffs. It's good.
Oh, but how many touches did David Johnson have? Oh, okay.
Did you just disrespect David Johnson?
I'm just saying. Did David Johnson have 400 touches?
Neither one of them have a ring.
David Johnson had 4 touches. Oh, Le'Veon about to get one. It's gonna fit real nice.
Nah, player.
It's gonna fit real nice, bro.
Nah, player. That truck is gonna have a flat tire in the playoffs. Congratulations.
Nah, it ain't happening.
All them touches, all that wear and tear. Oh yeah, you overdue to get a flat tire, homie. Sorry.
Nah, it ain't happening. Steelers all the way, baby.
Steelers. Remember, last time I checked, the Steelers lost to healthy Steelers lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Everything changed since then. Big Ben.
But guess what? But guess what has changed since then? The Steelers' defense is not as good anymore. And guess what? They don't have a healthy Antonio Brown.
The Steelers' defense wasn't good because Joe Hayden missed all that time.
Oh my God!
No, Joe Hayden was good.
They pass coverage was trash. You could pass on the Steelers.
Watch.
You mispronounced is, fam.
Nah, was pass.
Mispronounced is.
Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna be mad. Y'all gonna see.
A Texans game does not make you legit on defense, sir.
I'm not sold on your 17 points.
Don't do that. Just because you shut down TJ Yates does not make you elite in the secondary.
It was Tyler Heineke. That boy got a concussion. A concussion.
Y'all did a good job of holding Hopkins.
Took him out Will Smith style.
They did a good job of containing Hopkins for 3 quarters, and then he exploded.
Oh, Hopkins had a good catch. Come on, now. Don't just say exploded. He had a hell of a catch. Isn't it?
Yeah, he exploded. He started balling. He had 0 catches for literally a whole 3 quarters, and then he just kind of just went off.
He got a little first down, got his touchdown. But yeah, that was it. That was all she wrote.
The Big Ben ain't making it no Super Bowl.
He is, bro.
No.
You gonna see?
Nah, homie.
Hayden, I ain't gonna let y'all continue this hate. I'm just gonna let the Steelers do work. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see.
Still is
Yeah,
gonna
but
work
it's been a good year. Good year in fantasy.
It has 100%, man. Anything y'all want to tell the coach before we sign up?
Nah, enjoy your New Year. Stay safe. Wear 3 jackets because it's supposed to be cold as hell. Low at 23.
Me and Wilson need to go get
Yeah.
this suit. We need to go ahead and get all that recharge on so we can get ready to go into the new
Man.
year with no sniffles. You know what I'm saying?
And you need to go polish
Yeah.
my belt and get it ready.
Oh, this
Hey,
shit.
he want to say polish the belt, bro. Don't act like you ain't losing the League of Champions that featured 9 experts. Come on, bro.
Hey, and you know what's crazy?
Don't act like you didn't. Now.
Hey. Your
I'm
team
just
went
saying.
off. Your team went off, and I don't even manage that league. Shantae manages that league.
I
I think she did a great. No, she does manage that league because for whatever reason I got booted off. But she did a good job of managing that league. Hey, we had a good squad. We had a good run. We met in the final, so it is what it is.
Yeah, we met in the final. Don't give me that Shantae managed league, boy.
Shantae does. Why did you wake
Give me
up so
that.
you get on the mic?
Those double grips over there. Come on, bro.
I don't manage the league. I promise you. I promise you.
All right.
Okay, I will screenshot my ESPN app and show you that I do not manage this phone. Okay, okay. You know what? The rudeness.
Anything you got, Wilson?
And I met you in the final, so don't do too much sleeping, son.
Enjoy the rest of this year. Look forward to bigger and brighter next year. Hopefully, you know, folks can go down and get themselves in order if they've had a rough year and try to do better. And for those that have actually had a pretty productive year, see if you can top it the following year. Shouts out to my Florida State Seminoles for winning a bowl game today. Looking forward to
whatchamacallit bowl?
Yeah, that one. Looking forward to seeing what that young man Willie Taggart is going to do as the first black coach in the history of the Florida State Seminoles. But starting it off on a bright foot, they look really good today. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, and please enjoy these college football playoffs because they are going to be everything.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be off the chain. I'm ready for these playoffs, baby. I'm ready for all the playoffs, football playoffs, college football, NFL.
I'm ready to see Pittsburgh lose round 1. Ready to see these college football playoffs, man. It's gonna be lit.
You know what, bro? Pittsburgh going all the way to Super Bowl. Y'all gonna have to celebrate with the rest of everybody else when they holding up their Lombardi.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Y'all stay drug free in 2018, people.
I'm done with y'all. As for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Y'all enjoy.
Peace.
Pittsburgh to the top.